For a second consecutive season in fall camp, West Virginia may have just found another freshman phenom at the running back position. Let's go. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads webcast. And before I get into this video, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. If you would do us a favor, hit that like button, give us a thumbs up on this video. It'll really help not only its performance, but future videos performances here on the channel. And if you're a WVU fan and you haven't already, be sure hit that subscribe button. Helps us and it helps you, as it helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, let's get into it. All right, so we know last season West Virginia found a phenomenal freshman running back out of nowhere in CJ Donaldson in fall camp last year. We thought he was going to come in, play some tight end, maybe even a little receiver. Thought that he might get to play some as a true freshman later in the season. Did not expect him to, one, play running back, and two, have the immediate impact that he did right from the get-go. 7 carries, 125 yards against Spit in the backyard brawl, and then of course went on to have a phenomenal freshman season before it was cut short at time due to injury. But he was really rolling. You know, the game in which he got injured, he had over 100 yards rushing in the first half and still had over 500 yards rushing as a true freshman that had never played running back before ever in his life. So West Virginia really found something special in the phenomenal freshman CJ Donaldson last year in fall camp. And I say all that to say, fast forward now a year later to this year's fall camp, and West Virginia has brought in a couple other true freshman running backs, one of which has really started to stand out and started to do that even way back in spring. If you watched our channel throughout the spring, I talked about him since the signing day synopsis show. And then even in the spring game, he actually led the West Virginia running backs in rushing yards there, had a couple of explosive runs, and he's really caught the eye of a lot of people since he committed. And since fall camp started, not only has that continued, but it seems some of that noise about his performance has increased actually. And we're talking about Jaheim White, the true freshman running back out of the state of Pennsylvania for the Mountaineers. And I've got a couple clips prepared here to share with you guys just to show you the kind of rave reviews he's getting here throughout this fall camp, and why I believe, although he may not have the level of impact that CJ Donaldson had, to the point where CJ Donaldson became a starter right before his injury, I think Jaheim White's a guy you're going to see on the field a lot this season. As a true freshman, West Virginia is going to find ways to get him the football, maybe even as early as the opening game of the season. We'll see how it plays out moving forward, but either way, phenomenal job scouting by this West Virginia recruiting staff and coaching staff to find not only one diamond in the rough running back last year in CJ Donaldson, who no one saw coming, but then this year, Jaheim White was only a 3-star recruit in this previous class, pretty high rated within the state of Pennsylvania. And I think if you followed him throughout high school, you saw him putting up absurd numbers, especially in that senior season. Had one game where he ran for over 400 yards and over 7 touchdowns in a single game. So you saw the explosiveness coming in. But let's hear it from some of the players on the team themselves and some of the coaches themselves as we start here with a clip from offensive coordinator Chad Scott in an interview last week.
You playing him more at slot than running back, or
both right now? He's a kid that we got to get the ball in his hands, and obviously, we're not being smart about it. We're seeing how much he can carry, in terms of how much he can pick up on right now. And that's the beauty of having the 2-spot. It gives a lot of reps, be able to show us what he can handle. And it's good for him. One thing that he can't handle when the ball's in his hands, he's special. So we won't ask a lot of him because he's talented, and obviously we got a guy that talented. The worst thing we could do is make him play a whole lot slower than what he is, and he's fast. So we're not going to do that.
how's his ball skills?
Great ball skills.
Okay, so
He got great ball skills.
that lends the slot maybe a little bit.
Great ball skills, and like I said, these reps are really beneficial for him. And so, like I said, we knew he was fast. We knew he was special with the ball in his hands. So we want him to continue to be fast. And so we can't put a lot on his plate to force him to go out there and think. And thus far, we've done a good job of that. So he got to keep taking care of his body and be available for us.
So there you hear it from not only West Virginia's offensive coordinator, Chad Scott, but also the man that coaches the running back. So he sees Jaheim White up close and personal more than anybody, and definitely has a lot of insight into his game. And what really stood out to me there was the news that he's been splitting out and playing the slot receiver role some. We know that West Virginia has a deep running back room. We were interested to see how they were going to involve all these guys. CJ Donaldson, I believe, not only the best running back in the Big 12, but the potential to be one of the best nationally. And you guys know how much I've sung Jalen Anderson's praises here, and West Virginia still has Justin Johnson in the fold as well. But when you got a guy like Jaheim White with such a different skill set, bringing something to the table that West Virginia's kind of been missing for quite some time, in that home run ability, that speed, the ability to take it to the house on any given play. You got to try and find a way to get him involved. So I love the fact of West Virginia even playing him in the slot some, it seems, just to get him some snaps and get him involved in the offense, because I think it's something that we're going to need, is his explosiveness, and I'm hoping to see it on full display this fall. We'll see what happens, but let's not only hear from the coach, let's hear from one of his running mates himself. So here are CJ Donaldson's thoughts on Jaheim White and his game, and how impressed he's been with the true freshman as well.
Jaheim, he's definitely electric. He has great speed, great instinct. He's playing real loose, like as I've been mentioning earlier. He's just out there having fun. Like I tell him all the time, just go out there and have fun. If you're not having fun with it, it's just making it feel like work. But when you're out there having fun, you playing football how I felt when you was in high school, you just in the moment, you zoned out. He's a great catcher too. He's a little too athletic for his size. Like he make plays that's like, okay, like he's definitely, it's great watching him out there. I'm probably one of his biggest fans. He probably don't know it because I'm real hard on him, just because I see how good he really can be. Like he's special. Like that's a special talent.
So there you have it, Mountaineer Nation. I know you guys have heard me sing Jaheim White's praises since he came in on National Signing Day, and we knew he was going to early enroll, and we got to see it for our own eyes in the spring. But instead of just hearing it from me and seeing it in the spring, which I know doesn't go a long way, spring practices and spring games, how about hearing it from some coaches and some players of just how good this guy can be here now that we're a week into fall camp? I think Jaheim White is poised to be a superstar for the Mountaineers in the future, and hopefully, he gets to contribute some this season in his true freshman season. And when he does, I think we will see flashes of greatness, and hopefully we get to see that explosiveness come to fruition. Maybe he hits a couple home runs for the Mountaineers throughout this season. But what are your expectations for Jaheim White this season, with him being a true freshman among such a loaded West Virginia running back room? Or do you think he's just so talented that he will find ways to make an impact, much like CJ Donaldson did last season? Either way, I think it's a great problem for West Virginia to have such talent in the running back room that they're even having to move some out to the slot at times just to get everyone involved and get kind of your best weapons on the field. So super excited about the offense this season. I think it's really going to surprise some people, and I think Jaheim White will as well, and I think he will factor in more than some expect, despite him being a true freshman. But would love to hear your thoughts on Jaheim White and this West Virginia offense for the upcoming season. Now that we're a week into fall camp, we're getting so close to the Mountaineer football season. I'm excited. I know you all are throughout Mountaineer Nation as well. So be sure, drop your thoughts down there in the comments. We really appreciate those interactions as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.